All right, today we're jumping into a concept that I think for some of you might feel deeply personal. It's called the analytical burden of high intelligence.
So let me just start by asking you a question. Do you ever get that feeling that you see patterns, flaws, and injustices that it seems like everyone else around you completely misses? If you're kind of nodding your head right now, well, then you are definitely in the right place.
You know, that feeling of seeing what other people don't, it can be pretty isolating, right? It's like you're tuned into a whole different frequency, constantly picking up on all the little details, the subtext, the potential consequences that are just invisible to most people.
And the thing is, you can't just switch it off. It's a constant, and let's be honest, often overwhelming stream of information. Your brain is just always on. It's observing, cataloging, analyzing, and connecting dots, whether you want it to or not.
Now, all of that nonstop mental processing, it inevitably takes a toll. And that brings us to the emotional weight of this whole experience, the exhaustion of awareness.
I mean, if you had to boil this entire experience down to just one single word, for many, it would be this one: exhausting. It's a deep, profound mental fatigue that comes from a brain that simply refuses to be quiet.
So what does this exhaustion actually feel like day to day? Well, it's the feeling of seeing patterns literally everywhere. It's noticing the systemic flaws in a project or a company, or even in society itself. It's that sharp, almost painful recognition of injustices that other people just seem to ignore. And, this is a big one. It's that mental habit of replaying conversations and events, analyzing them from every possible angle long after they're over.
This can all feel incredibly chaotic and, frankly, really isolating, which leads to a pretty critical question. What is actually going on here? Is there a name for this?
Well, yes, there is. And for a lot of people, just having a name for it can be incredibly validating. So let's talk about what's known as analytical processing.
This experience that we've been describing is what's known as analytical processing. At its core, it's the cognitive habit of running constant mental simulations and replaying events just to understand them from every single angle. And this is not just overthinking, it's way more structured, a really methodical way of deconstructing reality.
Okay, so now we have a name for it, but how does this mental engine actually work? Let's break down the mechanics of what you could call the mind simulation engine.
It pretty much works as a four-step process. First, you observe an event. Your mind immediately, and I mean immediately, jumps to step 2, running mental simulations. What if I did this instead? What are all the possible outcomes here? Then you move to replaying and analyzing the event, turning it over and over. And all of this leads to that final step, identifying the hidden flaws and the deeper patterns.
And it's so important to understand this. This isn't just some quirky habit. For people with this cognitive style, it is a fundamental way of processing the world. It's baked in, and it's directly linked to a capacity for advanced reasoning.
So now we understand the powerful cognitive process that's going on behind that overwhelming feeling. And this lets us circle right back to the central idea, the burden of analysis.
And this is where you really see the two sides of the same coin. On one hand, you've got the feeling, a constant, tiring burden of just noticing everything. But on the other hand, you have the cause. It's a direct result of advanced reasoning and deep analysis. The burden and the ability are two parts of the same whole. You really can't have one without the other.
We've spent this time unpacking the burden. We know it's real, we know it's exhausting, and we know it comes from a place of profound analytical ability. But that leaves us with one final, and I think crucial question. If this is the burden, what is the gift? What are the upsides to seeing the world in such rich, complex detail? That's a powerful idea to consider.